Hey, it's Bethany with the Wandering Purl podcast, and welcome back to episode 27. This one is late again just because my husband keeps being off the days before the podcast is supposed to come out, and it's so hard to do it when he is here because normally we're out doing something or he's here and I have to kick him back to the other side. So that's why it's late. It's just because of my husband's work schedule. So hopefully next time I have like hair on my lip. So hopefully next time this will be on the 5th, like it's supposed to be, and not the day after. But just know if it's late, it's more than likely because of my husband's schedule and just life in general. So I hope you guys have had a good August. Ours has been a little crazy, there's different things going on. We'll talk about that in live chat. This might be kind of choppy because the windows are open and the weather is like semi-nice, so it's not too hot today here in Utah. So people are out and my dogs are barking, so it could be interesting. Anyways, let me see, how many do I have? I have 3 finished objects to share with you guys today and 1.5 works in progress. So we'll just go ahead and jump in with the finished objects. So like I said, there are 3 finished objects that I have for you this time, but unfortunately I don't have any of them with me to show you in person. I do have some good photos, so I'll be showing those when I'm chatting about them, but all of these were gifts and I shipped them off a few days ago. So yeah, I don't have them to show you. But the first one I did show you the beginnings of last podcast. So it is the seamless toddler dress for my niece. I did finish this. I was so excited with how it worked out and how it finished and how cute it is, and I can't wait for her to get it and try it on. I think it's gonna be a little big, but I'm excited for her to get that. So this is a pattern by, all the information is right here. I don't want to butcher her name. Lavanya, maybe? Lavanya. I'm not even gonna, I don't want to butcher it. So it's gonna be over here. I used a US 3 needle, which is a 3.25 millimeter. I believe I used my Chiaogoon needles for this. It was supposed to be a US 2, but I didn't have 16-inch needles in the size 2s that it called for, so I just used size 3s, and I think that will be just fine. I used all scraps for this, which was really fun. My niece's favorite colors are pink, purple, and blues, so I used all the scraps for those. I ended up using the scraps about 2 times, just because I didn't have that many of those colors, it didn't seem. And I made the 3T size, which is the biggest for this pattern. The pattern was really fun to make, really cute, different construction than I thought it would be. You went from the waist up, and then I did the sleeves, and then you did the skirt after that. So it was a little bit of a different, it wasn't really, I mean, I guess it was seamless because it's called the seamless toddler dress, but it wasn't like top down. It was like middle up, and then you picked up stitches and went down. So yeah, anyways, it was a different construction. It took 187 grams, which I estimated to be about 748 yards. So 2 full skeins is what you would need for this pattern. But I think it turned out really cute. You can see all the pictures that I've been putting up. I love the scrappiness of it, and I would definitely make this pattern again because it was really simple and really, really fun to do. So that was the first finished object that I had. All of them are like baby items, and no, it is not for me. I'm not having a baby. It's not me. I just have a lot of people that I know right now who are having babies, or have little ones, and I was just kind of in the mood to make some small, cute things. So that's what happened. The next one is my husband's best friend from high school, got married last year, and they are expecting a baby girl any day now. So I wanted to send them a little something. So the first thing I made was a baby hat, and it's the same one that I made last time for my childhood friend who is having a little boy. It's the Peachy Keen baby hat by Chloe Rip. This is a great pattern. This is the first well, this is the second time that I've made it, and I really enjoyed it, and we'll make it again because it turns out really cute. And it took a US 2 needle, which is a 2.75 millimeter, and I used my Illimani, which actually I have, what I have left of that. Do I have the tag? I don't. But you guys have seen the Illimani yarn. I used it last time for the cardigan, the baby cardigan, the hat, and then it's also for my salty ear tea. But it's this beautiful alpaca cotton blend yarn. I still have a lot left. So I'll be making something else out of it. But for right now, it's going to go away for a little while because I've made like 4 things out of it and I'm done with it right now. But I use this yarn, which is called Fawn, or number 84, I believe. And then I also used a little bit of scraps of pink to make a little bow. And I just made the 0 to 3 size for this hat. I wanted to kind of, I wanted to use this yarn because I'm wanting to use this yarn up, but obviously I didn't use that much. But I thought it was kind of a little bland for a baby girl. So I just made up a little bow pattern. I think I cast on like 9 stitches with, can't remember if it was a size 1 or size 2 that I used. I used one of those needles. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. It might have actually been a 1.5. Can't remember, but I just cast on 9 and like knit until it looked like it was going to be big enough, and then cast off, and then wrapped some yarn around the middle of it and sewed it on to the hat. Made a little bow. I thought it was cute, thought it made it a little more girly, and I like how it turned out. So I'm really happy with that. I think it was a cute little touch that was exactly what the hat needed. So I made that on August 12th. It just took a day. Super fast knit. But yeah, it was super cute. There was something else I was going to say, and now I can't remember. I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. I forgot to weigh it. So I have no idea how much it took. I would say maybe 10, 12 grams, but I don't know. So I was really bummed after I had wrapped it and put it in the package. I remembered that I hadn't weighed it, and I was like, well, that's too bad because I'm not going to undo all that. So we just won't know, but that's fine. So the last project that I have that is a finished object is all the fault of my sister Sabra, because she was making this dress and then I decided I wanted to make it also. And the reason why my husband's friends are getting this is because I saw the dress and was like, oh, they're having a baby girl. I could make this for them. So that's why they're getting it. But it is the Roxy dress, and it is by Purl Larson, I believe is how you say that. And I used, wait, I feel like I'm not doing this right for some reason. But that's who the pattern is by. All information is here if I am sounding completely crazy. The needles I used were a 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter, and a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter. And the yarn that I used is Lyrical Fibers. And I bought this yarn up in Seattle, Salt Lake. Good Lord, that's where we are now. When we were in Seattle at Acorn Street Shop, and this is called Harvest Moon. And this is actually all that I have left of that yarn. I love this yarn. I bought this because I just loved it, and I didn't know what to make with it when I purchased it. It was before I was trying to be a little more intentional with purchasing. So when I purchased it, I didn't know what to use, and then I was going through my stash, and I thought this would be really cute to make the dress. And you can see what the dress looks like here. I think it turned out really cute. I made quite a few mistakes on this dress, which was kind of annoying. I felt, both me and Sabra felt like the wording of the pattern was a little bit confusing. It definitely could have been clearer with the instructions. So I think that's possibly, sorry, the ice maker's going. I just realized that. But but I feel like it could have been clearer with the instructions, and I think that might be why I actually messed things up a bit, or it could have just been that I was crazy and wasn't following along correctly. So I don't know. But the baubles were such a pain in the butt to do. They were such a pain, but they were really, really cute. And I actually ended up doing like 2 or 3 rows too many of baubles. And when I figured that out, I really wasn't happy because I was like, I could have not done these. But I mean, looking at it, I don't think you could ever tell that, that you, like, I did too many. I don't think. Hopefully not. I did make the smallest size, which is 3 to 6 months, and it used up a lot of yarn, seeing as how I only had this. Like, I didn't even do all of the increases that it called for in the skirt. I think there were supposed to be like 80 more stitches, like keep increasing, and I was like, that is too many stitches for this. So I stopped at around 220 stitches and was like, that's gonna be plenty big, and just didn't decrease for a while. I also added a few rows of purl knit on the very bottom, and I think that was all the difference that I make. Pretty much everything else was the same. You see the kids riding by behind me. Pretty much all, those aren't my kids, those are other kids. Sorry, total distraction. But I don't think anything else I changed on it, except that I just kind of messed up in the front and had to fudge the numbers a little bit, but I still think it turned out really cute. So I'm really happy with it. Don't know if I would make this pattern again. Maybe if, since I know the construction a little better and kind of what the wording is, I might. And I was getting really good at the baubles at the very end, so maybe. But there were a lot of baubles. But yeah, I was really happy with how it turned out. I'll have it listed on the little thingamajigger of how much yarn I used. But I don't have it here. I have my computer right here. Let me look and see if I have it on my little Google spreadsheet is what I'm trying to say. Let's see, where are you at? I think I put it on here. Yes, okay, so I used 90 grams, and that equaled 475 yards. So, yeah, it would have taken up, I wouldn't have had enough if I had kept on increasing, I don't think. I also did the sleeveless version. There's a version where you can do sleeves or short sleeves, long sleeves, but I didn't want to do that. So I just left it cute and short. So that was that. And those are my 3 finished objects. Sorry I didn't have them here to actually show you, but I hope the photos were good enough and you were able to see the items. I enjoyed making most of them. No, I enjoyed making the Roxy. It was just kind of frustrating that the baubles took so long, and that I kept messing up the pattern, which is probably my own fault, but I think also the wording of it was a little tricky too. But yeah, those are what I got for you. I have 1.5, well, 1 and a bit works in progress, kind of. So I'm going to go with the one that's not quite cast on yet, but anyways, we're just going to go with that one, and I'll talk about it in a second. So the one that I am about to cast on is the Sundaze by Wool and Pine. I talked about this in the last one where I got in the yarn for it and was really excited to start it. I am going to be making this with my sister Sabra, and I am just waiting for her to be ready. No pressure, Sabra. I know you're finishing your dress and haven't felt well. So I am just waiting for her, and I have swatched, and she has swatched, and she is finishing up her Roxy dress that she is making, and then once she gives me the go, we are going to cast on together. So I have done 2 swatches for this, and it's been a little crazy. So let's just talk about it. Let's talk about the yarn first. Let me see, do I have the yarn tag in here? Yes, I do. Okay, so I got this yarn last time, so you will have seen it if you are a returning viewer. But this is by Melbourne Woolens in their Perennial Yarn. And this yarn color, where is that? Is Neon Coral. You can see it's like right here. I don't know why it's not wanting to really focus. Come on, are you gonna focus? No? Okay, trust me when I say that it's Neon Coral. And when you see it, you will believe me. So this is the color. And yes, it is that bright. It might even be a little brighter than it is showing on the camera. It is exceptionally bright. I really, really love it though. I think it's going to be so cute. So I am going to be making the 4th size that is in the pattern. And this is a pretty oversized boxy type pattern. So I don't think sizing is going to matter too terribly much, and gauge isn't going to matter too terribly much. But my gauge was way, way off, and it's still quite a ways off. So this is my second swatch that I have. Hold on. I think this is the front side. But I really love how this one is looking. I think it is just going to be really, really cute. Oh, I can't wait to start it. So this one is on a size 3 needle. The first one I swatched was on a size 5, and are you a size 5? And that is what the pattern calls for. But I had like 20, what did I have? Like 22 stitches per 4 inches, and you're supposed to have 28. And I was like, well, we're gonna have to go down a little bit. So then when I swatched on the 3s, I got 24 stitches, I think. It's really hard to also do these the correct, to like count these stitches the correct way, so I'm not even sure if I'm doing it right. I hope I am, but I really like this fabric more than the fabric of the 5s. The 5s was very, very holey, and I mean, you can see this one's really holey too, but I'm going to be wearing a cami underneath this anyways because it's kind of a cropped tee. I will have put a picture in of what it looks like, hopefully sometime or right now. We'll see. But I think I'm definitely not going down to size 2s to try to get more stitches in there, because that would take me forever to make, and I don't want to use size 2s. So size 3s are what I'm going to use. I believe they're, what are size 3s? 3.25 millimeters, I believe. Yes, 3.25. So that is what I am going to be using for this. It should definitely be cast on by the next podcast, and I think I'm going to be quite obsessed with it because it's really, really fun looking. I mean, look how fun that looks. I'm really excited about this one. So I have all of my yarn in here. I'm housing this in my Cottontail Farms bag. I plan to use my Lantern Moon interchangeable set. Oh look, I had the size 3s right here. So this is the set I'm going to be using for these. And I have everything ready and set to go. I have my little notions bag by NeonSol, which I love. And yeah, it's ready. It's ready to go and cast on once I get the go-ahead from Sabra that she is ready. I could totally cast on ahead of her, but I don't want to because I want us to do it together. So I'm perfectly happy waiting. What else was I going to say? Anything else? I don't think so. Basically, my gauge is really bad, and I might have to fudge, like, dimensions a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm really excited. Hopefully next time I have this cast on to share with you. I have finally cast on the Plumeria by Wool and Pine. I know you guys are probably like, finally, you've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. I finally did it, and I am so happy. It's such a fun knit, and I'm really excited with how it is knitting up. So this is a pattern by Wool and Pine. I started it on August 15th, so I'm just about 5 days into knitting on it. I am making this size, the 5th size, which is a bust of 43 inches. And I didn't put what needles. Oh yeah, I think I'm using size 3s also. Let me double check. Are you 3s? Yes, I'm using size 3s again. This one I also did a gauge swatch for. It's also Wool and Pine, so the same as the Sundaze, and it called for size 5s. My gauge was really off again. So I guess I'm a loose knitter? I don't know. It's really strange because normally I'm not loose with anything. I'm more of a tightly wound type person, but I am using the size 3s because that's what I got closer to gauge on. And again, not going down to a size 2 with fingering weight on a garment. Not happening, unless it's absolutely necessary. What else? This yarn I got is from the Wicked Knittah. It is a 2021 Advent skeins. They are 50-gram skeins. I got it in a D-stash off of the 11 Stitches membership Discord, and I fell in love with it when I saw it. There are 6 colors in the Advent, but I'm only using 5 because the first 2 colors were very similar and very light, and I kind of like the darker colors better. So I think I've done the math right and will be able to fade them all in correctly and evenly. So we'll see. Another Cottontail Farm bag is what I'm housing this in. I really need to get some new bags because I just keep using these two, but I really like them, and she hasn't had anything new recently, so that's what I got. I'm using my Chiaogu needles for this one, and I will talk about the other stuff in just a second. So I started this a couple days ago and have just been really knitting through it and enjoying it. Let me show you the correct side. Okay. So I thought that this was going to be bottom-up construction, but I was wrong because this is actually a top-down construction, and you knit it in 4 pieces first, each 2 triangles here and 2 triangles in the back, and then you add the triangles on the front, do some knitting, add the triangles together on the back, do some knitting, and then you add it all together. And I actually added it all together was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So I got a lot done last night. But this is what I have so far. I think it's looking good. I think it looks pretty good with the way I am. Hold on, I'll just hold it here. With the way that I am kind of using the colors together, and I am obviously blending them together, not just starting it the next one. But I have 3 different colors here. So obviously the first color, and then we start fading in the second color, and then the third color you start seeing a little bit more of this yellow here. And I have let me show you this real fast. I have a stitch marker. It's my little Union Jack, and this is by 3 by the Sea, I believe. And then my Fox and Pine stitch stoppers, my little Oreos. But I'm really liking how this is turning out. I just started the lace last night. Let me see if I can show you. It's kind of hard to tell because it's all bunched up. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. Right there. Yeah, I'm 10 rounds in of the lace. I have like 102 rounds of lace to do. So yeah, it's gonna be a while, but I've gotten 10 done. So I'm really liking how it looks. Let me show you the yarn not in the pattern so you can kind of get a gist of what we're doing. So this was the color that I did not end up using. I just decided, I actually did the swatch in this, but I decided I wasn't going to use this one because this is the one that I started with, and those are just so similar, that I didn't want that much light to be in it. So I just decided not to use this one. So this is the first color that I cast on with. That's the top. I'll need this to finish off the strings at the top. I do not plan on having it tie at the top like the pattern does. I'm just going to connect it because I don't trust things that tie. So I'm going to connect it. I think it'll be a lot better. I'm also planning to do like the mid V-neck. There's 3 options. There's one where the V is like really high. Then there's one that's like mid, which is where I'm going to do it. And then there's also the really like plunging V. So I will be wearing a cami under this anyways, but I think that like this is where I'll be comfortable probably with it. So I won't have to do too terribly much more. And it's really weird because it's on the cord, so you can't tell how big it is. But yeah, that's what it is. And then, okay, let's get back to this. So this was the first color. Here's my second color. This one is my second color right here. So it gets quite a bit darker from from this to that. And then this one, hold on, I'm throwing things. Let me switch these. I dropped it. This one's my third color, so you can see it progressively gets a little bit more purple, a little bit more yellow. And then the next two colors that I have, let's see, is this will be the next one after, and then this one, I believe. Or is it the other way around? I might actually do this one next and then this one. I don't know. We'll see. But those are going to be the colors. I think it's going to turn out really cute. And I'm excited to be using this yarn that I got in the D-stash, since I've been trying not to buy too much yarn. But when I saw this, I just kind of had to have it. But yeah, hopefully next time this will be, I'm not sure if this will be a finished object next time, because I'll also be starting the Sundaze. But yeah, I think won't be too long. It'll be done in time for it to get cold. Let's just say that. But I think I could even wear like a long sleeve tank underneath it, and then have this over top. So I was reading the instructions, and it has where you're supposed to have like 0 to 10 inches of positive ease. They said if you were going to do like a mid V-neck or a high neck, that probably 0 ease was going to be the best for you. So that's why I picked the size 43. The next size up was 46 and a half. And I feel like this is going to stretch a bit, so I didn't want it to be too terribly big. And it's going to be nice and flowy at the bottom, so I think it'll turn out really nice. I feel like I explained this horribly, but hopefully you get the point and you can kind of see what we're doing with this. But I think it's going to be really cute. And I'm enjoying it a lot. It's been a really fun, pretty quick knit. I'd say it's almost halfway done, maybe. But yeah, that's what we got for the works in progress. So I am a terrible podcaster and forgot for the second month in a row to put up a question box. So maybe I'll do it for the next one and just have an extra long podcast with the stats and questions, but I just completely forgot. I have been forgetting things all week. I forgot something yesterday really important that I was supposed to do. Luckily I remembered and was only a few minutes late to it, but it's just been that kind of week. I don't know what's going on. So we're just gonna jump into life chat and kind of talk about life. We got a new AC. I told you guys last time that our AC had died and that it was been really hot, and that I couldn't turn off the AC in here and all that stuff. So we got that fixed, and it is amazing. Brian is absolutely amazing because he did it all himself. And I helped a tiny bit, but not really. Excuse me. And yeah, it works really, really great. It's amazing. I don't think our other AC has really properly been working for like the last year, which is really frustrating because this is a 2022 camper and we've had it a year and a half. Things should not be breaking like that. Like, those are supposed to last 10 years. So anyways, we got the new one replaced. It's a better one than the one we had before, and it's been like cold in here, which is something we haven't felt in a long, long time, other than when it was like 30 below in Colorado. So yeah, it's been really, really nice, and we're very grateful that we had the funds to go ahead and get that and do that right away. We also had to replace the fan in the bathroom because it died. This is the third time that it has died. We have replaced it. This is the third time that we've replaced it. So the other times we replaced just the motor in it. And again, Brian's really great. He watches YouTube and figures out how to do these things. So it's a lot cheaper. We just buy the parts. But this time we actually bought a whole new unit that is supposed to be more powerful and better than the one that came with the camper. And it's been working really well so far too. I'm very grateful. But this camper has cost us a lot of money in the last month, and I don't want to spend any more money on it right now. So I hope nothing else breaks, because it's depleting. It's not very good. But yeah, it's been frustrating to have to replace all these things, especially for Brian, because he's the one who's having to figure out how to do it. But again, he's been really great with doing it, and I'm so grateful that he is willing to figure it out and save us the labor money on it, and do a good job at it. So I'm grateful for that. I have been a bit grumpy since we got to Utah. We normally, personally, I love Utah. I've always loved Utah. But it's been a struggle since we got here. I think one part is that I just loved Washington too, and I had a good little group of knitting friends that I just loved, and we weren't supposed to leave yet from Washington, and we had to leave early, so it was kind of a bummer. And then when we got to Utah, we got sick, so we had that awful summer cold for the first like 2-3 weeks of being here, and then these last it's been about a week and a half. I've been having real trouble with the campground here. And it has just annoyed me to no end. Like, unreasonably annoyed me. I don't know why, but it just has hit me the wrong way. So we have our fence that you guys know that we put up everywhere we go, and a lot of campgrounds don't allow fences, and don't allow 5 dogs and things like that. So it's always a struggle to find somewhere, and those are always the questions that I ask when I speak to a campground before we decide to go to wherever we're going. So here they were like, yes, 5 dogs is fine, not a big deal. And they were like, yeah, the fence is fine, no worries about it. Well, then when we got here, we were here a few days, and then we get this mass email. I think it went to everybody in the campground that like a list of all the things that people are violating. And one was having a fence up. And I was like, but I was told that you could. And they're like, oh, you can, but you have to take it down every time that you're not outside with them. And I was like, well, that's not what I was told when we like agreed to come here. I was told, yes, fences are fine, not a big deal. And at first, like it keeps changing the story of why they don't allow fences. The first time was, well, we need to be able to do maintenance. So we were like, okay, well, I'll just put the fence where there is no maintenance, like not on the grass. It was on the gravel and on the concrete. So there was nothing that, anyone would have to get to do anything. And then we had to move spots to our permanent spot. And we put the fence up again right in the area that was in the same area as before. And within an hour, they're like, hey, reminder, you can't have your fence up. And I was like, really, really unhappy because I was like, we'd had it up for 3 weeks and no one had said anything to us. So I went and they're like, oh, well, it's policy. And I was like, well, that's not what you told me. And that's not the first thing you told me either. And like, it's just been a pain. Sorry, I won't go on forever about this. But we also went through all their rules, and 80% of the people here are breaking at least 1 or 2 of those rules. So it's kind of like, which rules do you enforce and which rules don't you enforce, and why am I the one that's having to follow a certain rule when all these other people aren't? Yeah, it's been really, really frustrating. So we've actually been looking for another campground to stay at, but that's also been a problem too. So I don't know. We could be moving, we could be staying here. I have no idea. And it's kind of just frustrating. So we have been moving the fence every time we take the dogs out, which is a huge, it's just a pain. It's just a pain. And the fence is not meant to be taken and put up and taken and put up. We have it zip tied in places, and we have like carabiners in other places. So it's just been really frustrating. So I've been dealing with that for like the last week and being, just frustrated with it. So that's just how the life has been. Yeah, making me grumpy and just frustrating. So prayers for that would be great, that I am not grumpy about it, that I get over it, and I'm just like, will do what I'm supposed to do. And then also that if we're to move, we should move. I love that they're putting all this trash in the back. Hopefully that's not distracting. But if God will show us, should we move? Should we stay? What should we do? Where should we go if we go? That kind of thing would be so great. But yeah, we have been going on lots and lots of walks. There is a great little walkway, right? There's a river right behind these trees that you see behind me. It's the I believe Weber River, I believe is what it's called. I don't know. It goes way, way far up to where we used to live, 45 minutes away from here. But yeah, we've been walking and going through there, walking through the campground, looking at everyone who violates the rules. Um, there's also 3 people with other gates right now that I'm having issues with. But I'm going to go on. Not going to talk about it anymore. But we've really been enjoying doing some walks around here later in the evening because it's still been hot here in Utah. Today it is very overcast and it looks like it could rain at any minute, which would be nice. We had a big storm roll through yesterday, and we've had little ones here and there, which is very nice. But that's basically what's been going on. We've been getting lots of yummy food, spending too much money on yummy food, and yeah, that's the only exciting things that have been happening. I haven't really been motivated to go out and do much things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just been kind of a blah week. We have been doing lots of watching of television as well, though. So we will chat about that real fast. Brian and I are still watching Longmire and loving it. We are finally on season 3. It took us 3 weeks to get there, so I finally know kind of the conclusion to season 2's ending. Anyways, we are enjoying that. We're we're like episode 4 of season 3, so maybe halfway almost. The dog is about to lay down and she's probably gonna hit this. It happens every single time. She moved away. What else? I have been watching, or I finished watching Grantchester's new season on PBS. I love it. I think it's a great show. It's so fun. I'm sad that I heard that the main actor is going to be leaving, so another one's going to be coming. So I don't know how that's going to work again, but we'll see. I'm excited for the next season. I got on a huge kick. There's no TV on right now, right? Like no new anythings. So I found where I could watch the 1980s miniseries Anne of Green Gables with Megan Follows, and I watched 9 hours of Anne of Green Gables. Actually, more than that because I watched some specials that they had also. But there's this app called the Gazebo app that you can purchase or rent it on, and I purchased all 3 of the miniseries. I'd never actually seen Anne the Continuing Story from 2000, so I really enjoyed watching that. I've loved Anne of Green Gables for a very, very long time. I love the books. They're my favorite books. I watched Anne with an E, which was a little hard to get into, but once I got into it, I absolutely loved it on Netflix. But yeah, Anne from the Canadian version and like from the 1980s will always be my favorite. I just love that so much. So I really enjoyed rewatching all of those. And then after I rewatched those, I went and watched Anne of Green Gables from Amazon. And they were like, I think there were 3 versions of that as well. I watched all of those. They were okay. They were good. Not as good as the original. But that was fun to watch. And then I watched the new season of The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is on Amazon. I watched it on a whim the first season last year and didn't really think that I was going to like it, but absolutely loved it. So when this new season came out, I wanted to wait until all the episodes were out to watch it. So I had thought all the episodes were out. So I watched, I think there were 7 episodes. So I watched all 7 episodes, loved it, and was like, dang, that's a way to end the season, and thought it was done. But I realized there's at least 1 more episode that came out since I finished watching it. So I need to go watch that episode. And I'm hoping maybe there's a couple more because that would be really great. But I've been watching that and enjoying it. So tonight, probably I'm going to end up watching that. And then I was like, I don't have anything else to watch. So I subscribed to Britbox again. I hadn't had Britbox in quite a few months, so I downloaded that and watched a few they're murder mysteries mostly, a few shows from there. Murder in Province is the first one that I watched. It had one of Detective Thursday from Endeavor in it, and it was so funny because he's exactly like Thursday in this, but he's in modern times. But it was a 3 episode watch, and I enjoyed it. I watched that. And then I also watched Karen Leary, I believe is how you say it, another detective show from Britbox, and it has a gal from Outlander as the main character, which was really fun. I enjoyed that watch as well. And I am currently watching Sherwood, which is also in Britbox, also a murder mystery. And this one, I think I watched like 3 episodes last night. Really good. Lots and lots of people that I know from other shows, like almost everyone I've seen in something else. So that one's been really good so far as well. So lots of TV watching is what I've had in my time, and that's probably why I have so much done on that the Plumeria. But yeah, that's basically me for the last 2 weeks. Thank you for being patient and waiting an extra day for the podcast. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. I feel like it's been kind of crazy, and there's been lots of back traffic and the lovely view of our trash bin behind us. But this is our new view. I guess you are seeing it for the first time. Next time could be a different view. I don't know. Could be the same one. We will see. But yeah, I would appreciate prayers for guidance on where to go, and hope you guys are having a good August. Everyone, school's about to start back, which is going to be another crazy adventure as well. So 'tis the time of the craziness. But hope you guys get a lot of knitting or crocheting or just crafting time in, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys. I hope you guys have had a great August. Our month has been a little bit crazy, but in your heart I'm left behind, like a shadow in the dark, ready